that Trump photo, I'm hitting refresh and, my activity tab is broken on Instagram. I can't even see anything anymore. So I just have to refresh it on my laptop. And I'm just noticing that it's resonating with people in a way that I did not anticipate. My name is Mark Clennon. I am 32 years old. I am an artist specializing in editorial, commercial, and documentary photography. I'm based in Harlem, New York, and I'm from Florida. My childhood and formative years was very unique. I went to 3 different high schools in 4 years. So I had to learn how to adapt to new cultures and meet different types of people pretty early on. And anywhere that I went, I was always a kid from out of town. So that required me to just watch people and listen to how they talk, so I could just try my best to fit in or assimilate into these new cultures. And I was exposed to different types of music. Like North Florida has a lot of music that's influenced by Texas and the Gulf Coast, whereas South Florida has its own unique sound, and Central Florida is kind of a mix of the two. And I had an opportunity to live in all these different parts of Florida, which allowed me to meet people from the Caribbean and traditional African Americans and people of all walks of life. I've done a little bit of everything for work. I've thrown sod, I've done landscaping, I've cleaned apartments, I have worked in fast food, I've worked in both delis, I've worked a lot of different places to just try to get some income. I quit my job to move to New York. I hadn't really been to New York before I moved, but a friend of mine posted on Facebook and was like, hey, I need a roommate in New York, I'm moving. I'm like, I'll move, because I just wanted to get out of the city I was in. After a few months, I got a job at a tech company working in tech sales again, and I worked there for 5 years. From there, I discovered, in a way, photography. And then a friend of mine, one of my frat brothers, Gerard Anderson, moved up. We had the same exact camera that I barely used. Just basically was decoration in my apartment at the time. I said, I'll walk around with you with the camera. We can learn together. We call it like didactic learning, right? Where we learn together. And so we were learning together. We started a group me, and the numbers in the group me grew. And so we had like a little bit of a network of photographers. And that was 2016. The following year, I quit my job, which might have been too soon. But I was at a point where I was like, now or never. A lot of things led up to the image that I took in front of Trump Tower on May 30th, 2020. We all know what happened, in the first part of 2020. And a lot of people, photographers, creatives in general, DJs, makeup artists, stylists, like our business completely stopped. I can sense the frustration in everybody just because we've been pinned at home the whole year pretty much. I took a reading during that time because I just couldn't stand on being online in April and May. And I read actually for the first time, the autobiography of Malcolm X. And I finished that book, I think the week that George Floyd was killed. Seeing that a lot of these things are still happening today, and the way that George Floyd died, I asked myself, like, what is the best way that I can contribute? So I got on a city bike and I just biked my way to the front. And I kind of got to Trump Tower before the protest and circled it. I'm like, okay, let me put my city bike down somewhere because somebody might take it, And there's a lot of photographers facing the people, but I think I went behind the people. And we were kneeling down, and I saw a man, didn't see his face. I saw a man with a do-rag in front of me. And I'm like, he's gonna raise his fist. I just had a feeling. And he was just right in front of it. So I just waited. I waited because people, Black Lives Matter, and people were saying that. So a lot of people's fists were raised already. And then he raised his fist, and I took a few photos, click, click, click. Usually I wait a while before I post up, but I just posted it right then. And I just posted it. And I stepped away from my phone, and I came back, and it was like, oh, 10,000 likes, which was like, okay, I expected 10,000 likes. Like, I had 10,000 likes in the past, but never in 10 minutes. That night at 1 o'clock in the morning, after it had gotten more than a couple 100,000 likes, in a few hours. It was Time Magazine. They emailed me in the middle of the night, and I responded to them straight away. And we had a call about it. They wrote an article about it the following day. And then they said, we're going to print it in the magazine. And it was in the magazine the next week, along with some of the other photos that I took. And, it was a surreal moment, seeing the reaction to the image in a way that was extremely validating in a way. It was exciting. I thought I had gone viral previous to this, but I had never seen viral like this, where we're having 36 million impressions on a tweet and another million on Instagram. Like, it was a lot happening at once. And then it also was like a very immense weight that I felt, because all of this is happening, all this excitement, all of this is happening because a Black man was murdered on camera. And, in the immediate days after that, Rolling Stones reaching out, Ellen shows reaching out, of course, Time, Complex, GQ, Vogue, all of these places that I've been wanting to get in touch with my whole career are finally reaching out to me at the same time, because our man was killed on camera. So I feel like my dreams are coming true at the same time, at the expense of another one of our Black people being killed by the police. My mission is to tell the totality of what it means to be Black in this time. So that means photographing us, falling in love, getting angry, forgiving. So I just want to do more of that and live it, and be more full and appreciative of the privileges that I have to be working at this time. Yeah, I always say never, don't be afraid of looking like a beginner. That was my number one roadblock, and don't be afraid of asking for help, and don't be afraid of offering help. A lot of the people I've met has just become friends of mine by just me offering help and just extending a hand where I can. And I realized that this space and anything I want to do is kind of built upon like a network of people. When I mean network, I don't mean like networking, like hi, shaking hands, here's my card type of stuff. Like just a network as in a community. So like contributing to and being a part of as many communities in an authentic way that you can will be the key to finding the help you need and being able to ask the right questions that you need to learn more about what you need to do to improve yourself.